Hey guys, in this session let us learn how to upgrade an Oracle database from 12C to 19C. So generally every software or hardware or any product that we buy, there will be an upgrade, either in the form of patch or either in the form of complete firmware upgrade, something like that, right? So without an upgrade, there will not be any new features or there will not be any enhancements, right? And also there will not be any security enhancements. So generally just consider a mobile phone. So during 1990s we were using keypad mobile phones, and then we were able to use internet in mobile phones, right? And then we were able to use videos, audios, and pictures, right? So currently we can literally do anything with the mobile. We can scan a document, or we can take the images similar to the quality of a DSLR camera, right? And also we can play any games using mobile. So now mobile has a lot of features and a lot of useful day-to-day applications which help us, right? We can also use Google Maps to locate a particular area, right? So without upgrade, all these features are not possible, right? So similarly in Oracle database, we already know that there are a lot of versions, right? From 8i to 9i to 10G to 11G, then 12C, then 19C. Likewise, Oracle has evolved over a period of years with different introducing different features and different components, and they just surprise us, right? So for that reason we upgrade the database, right? We have security vulnerability upgrades, we have optimizer enhancements, we have a lot of different features which can help the DBA tasks to complete the DBA tasks in a easy manner, right? A lot of things were automated, right? Earlier DBA used to manually do certain activities, right? So in one centralized command or one centralized tool, now it is possible for the DBA to easily complete any tasks, right? So for export import, previously we were using SQL loader, and then Oracle introduced export import, then data pump. So likewise, for this reason we need to upgrade, right? So the question is, why we need to upgrade the database when the application is already running fine, and there is no issue, and the business is generating good revenue? Then why we need to disrupt the system which is running in a good manner? This question comes for every client and customers, right? So it is, I mean, world is evolving very fast, okay? Because of the competition, every vendors are introducing and discovering new methods to face the day-to-day challenges in a creative way, right? If a particular customer is not upgrading, then obviously his competitor may upgrade the database, and he may make the life easier for the customers, so that business will be easy for the competitor, right? So because of these kind of fast evolving situations, every customer, one or the other day, they need to upgrade their database, okay? Both for their personal reasons and for the competitive environment. Okay, so in Oracle database, most of the time or every time, components are the main part where the upgrade take place. Okay, all these components in which are installed as part of the database will be upgraded to a higher version. Okay, nothing else. So there will not be any tool upgrade, or there will not be any binary upgrade or nothing like that. So when we say database upgrade, all the components which are installed will be upgraded. That's it. Okay, so if you see lot of components are there: catalog views, JServer, JVM, package and type, Java packages, OLAP analytical workspace, XML database, workspace manager. So all these components are essential for the smooth operation of any application. Okay, so some of the components are mandatory and some of the components are not mandatory. Okay, and if the customer is having an application which require the support of these components, then obviously we need to install those components. So OLAP analytical workspace is a component which is specifically used for data warehousing. Okay, not every customer every time will use all these components. It depends on the application, and whichever application is using XML related code, obviously XML needs to be installed on the database. Without XML component, application will not be able to there should be some compatibility. Without these components installed, there will not be any compatibility with the application. Okay, so generally before we upgrade, we have upgrade path for every versions. Okay, not only 19C. So in this session we are just going to upgrade 12C database to 19C. Okay, if say for example, if I need to upgrade from 10G to 11G, so there will be some direct path. Direct path in the sense, every versions may not be able to directly move from a lower version to higher version. So there will be certain way that we need to upgrade. Okay, so these are all the source versions. Okay, and these version, when the database is in this version, they can directly go to 19C. Okay, but say for example, if my database is in 11.2.03, then I cannot directly upgrade from 11.2.03 to 19C because 11.2.03 is not as part of this list. Okay, so this list may change every time. Okay, in future this may not be the static list. Okay, but for 19C this is the base version upgrade. Base version in the sense, these are all the base versions from where we can directly upgrade without any intermediate patch that needs to be applied. Okay, but for 11.2.03, what we need to do is we need to apply intermediate patch, which means we need to upgrade or apply the patch for 11.2.04, because which one is closer to 11.2.03? 11.2.04 is the closer one to 11.2 from 11.2.03. So we go to 11.2.04, then upgrade it to 19C. So this is how it works. So if our database is already in 11.2.04, we don't need to bother about it. We don't need any intermediate patch that needs to be applied. Similarly, if my database is in 12.1.01, so just think whether we can directly upgrade from 12.1.01 or not. Just see this list. 12.1.01 is not there. So I'm just giving you an example. Okay, so what we need to do, from 12.1.01 we need to upgrade to 12.1.02 because that's the nearest version. So from 12.1.02 we can directly upgrade it to 19C. Okay, so this is just an example. Don't just consider these examples as any real-time situations. Okay, so the only thing that we need to check is whether the current database which is running is part of this list or not. If it is on this list, then we don't need to bother about any intermediate patches that needs to be applied. Okay, and for upgrade we have three phases. One is pre-upgrade, then during upgrade, and then post-upgrade. Okay, so during pre-upgrade, what we do, we just check all the precautions like table space, whether we have sufficient space in table space to accommodate the upgrade, and do we have any ORA errors on the database before the upgrade, right? Checking the file system space, estimating the table space growth, and whether dictionary statistics are gathered or not. Okay, because dictionary statistics is very important for the upgrade to run fast in terms of performance. So if dictionary statistics are not gathered, then during the upgrade, lot of internal tables and dictionary tables will be processed with the help of internal queries, SQL queries. Okay, so this upgrade utility will fire a lot of internal queries. So for all those internal queries, optimizer need to generate the good execution plan. So if there is no proper statistics, then obviously optimizer will look at the dictionary and check if what is the latest statistics of the object, and it will use the old statistics if you don't gather dictionary statistics. So it is very important, especially during upgrade. Just remember, we need to gather the dictionary statistics. Okay, and also we need to purge the recycle bin. So if the recycle bin is full, then in the sense, if the recycle bin contains any data, we need to purge it. Okay, otherwise during the upgrade, all the objects which are there on the recycle bin will also be taking a lot of time. Okay, so if there are no objects in recycle bin, then we can just leave it. Okay, so yeah, these are all the precautions. So we need to take the backup, database backup, then we need to copy the P file, network files, SP file, control file backup, and we need to enable flashback. Guaranteed restore point needs to be enabled. Okay, if in case we end up with any issues, we can just directly go back without any trouble. Okay, and also we need to check the FRA space. So if the FRA space is sufficient to hold the archive logs and flashback logs, right? And also we need to check the invalid objects. So all these are pre-checks. Okay, so during the upgrade, what happened? We need to shut down the database. We need to start the database in upgrade mode. Okay, why we need to start the database in upgrade mode? So when we start the database, saying that you need to start it in upgrade mode, what Oracle does is, Oracle will be given some commands saying that this database is running in upgrade mode. So whatever parameters that need to be set, right, for upgrade, automatically Oracle will take care. So there will be some internal parameters or some certain parameters that needs to be changed by Oracle database. So we don't need to manually change it. So when we start the database in upgrade mode, automatically Oracle sets the database in such a way that it will be suitable for the upgrade. Okay, so that when we execute the upgrade command, automatically Oracle will suit, or you can say it creates the platform to upgrade the database. Okay, otherwise if you just start the database in normal mode, Oracle will think that application will be using the database, right? So that's not our goal. During the upgrade, application should not use the database. Only the database needs to be upgraded. Okay, so yeah, we need to execute catctl and cat upgrade script for during the upgrade, and then start the database from 19C. Then after that, we just check the post checks. We need to check invalid objects. We need to upgrade the time zone. Okay, and then we need to set the compatible parameter to higher value, the 19C value, and then drop the restore point. Okay, so there are a lot of things that needs to be done during the post grade as well. Okay, so yeah, in this session we are not going to use any manual upgrade method. We are just going to use DBUA, which is database upgrade assistant, which will automatically take care of the upgrade. Okay, so for lab I have just created a new VM or server. Okay, and I have just installed a 12c database. So you can also create a new VM by following the initial sessions where I have shown you how to install VirtualBox and how to install Oracle software. I mean Oracle Linux software, right? The same installation part. Okay, once you install the Oracle Linux, then install the Oracle database software. Then on top of that, you need to copy the 12c software. Okay, first you need to install the 12c Oracle database software, then install the Oracle database itself for 12c. Okay, so this is my 12c database which is running. Okay, also we need to copy the 19c software as well. So there are two things. One is we need to copy 12c software, and then we need to copy 19c software. Okay, so make sure that you have sufficient space in the mount points. Okay, so I have just created this VM because to increase the space. Okay, when you install this VM, don't use the same space, just give some additional space, at least minimum 100 GB. If you don't have 100 GB, 80 GB also would be fine. Okay, so the end goal is to store all the software. So you need both the software to be residing on the server, and also you need two Oracle homes. One is 12c and other one is 19c. Okay, so for that reason you just need to make sure that you are having these two softwares. Okay, now I'll just delete all the unwanted things. So I'll just keep only upgrade. So the database name is upgrade. Okay, upgrd. So yeah, so this /uo1 is the mount point which contains both the Oracle software. Okay, so this is my location. I have two softwares, 12c and 19c. Okay, so yeah, so inside 19c I don't have any software. So what I need to do, I just need to copy using WinSCP. So let me just check my IP. This is my IP address. So I need to reconnect to this IP address 136. So I just need to give the password. Just copy this 19c software into /uo1. It's not /apps. So yeah, this is the one. Make sure that you have sufficient space to accommodate both the softwares. Okay, so once I just copy, I'll just extract it. inside this directory. If you don't have this directory, you can just create it. Okay, just say mkdir-p this directory and then copy the file. So now I can just unzip this software file inside this directory. So once you just unzip it, you can just remove this file to save some space. Okay, so then we also need to install Oracle 19c software. Just execute the run installer. So before that, you also need to make sure that this OS is supported. Okay, sometimes in latest OS the graphical window may not support. So what I will do, I'll just use backward compatibility, which means I just simulate saying that I'm currently in Oracle Linux 7.8 by exporting this parameter cvoz dist id. Okay, so when I just export this parameter, what Oracle will think is this OS is running on OL 7.8 and not 8. Okay, currently we are in 8, Oracle Linux 8.5. Okay, so if you are in Oracle Linux 8, then also you can just export it, because even in 8 the graphical window may not support. For that reason, you can just use this backward compatibility for support of the graphical window. Okay, so let this installation complete. Okay, so once the installation is complete, then we can just upgrade it. Meanwhile, we can also take the backup of all the files from the 12c database. Okay, so let this yeah, it came. So first we need to choose setup software only, then single instance database installation, then enterprise edition. This is the Oracle base. Then you can just give DBA for every option. Just click next. So now it will just prepare for the configuration requirements. So once it is done, we can just go ahead and install the Oracle database software. So now we are going to install 19c software. So let this perform the pre-checks. Okay, so meanwhile we can just take the backup. So just create a directory. Okay, under apps o1 I will just create a directory called bkp. Just go to the Oracle home folder /dbs. So there are certain files. Okay, so you can just copy all these files from this folder to this directory. Okay, and also go back, go to the network admin. Okay, so this is the directory. Just copy all the files. and copy it to the apps backup. So what we are doing is we are just copying or taking the backup of all these files. So if in case we run with any issues, we can just use these files for our recovery purpose, restore and recovery. Okay, so you can just ignore it. Swap size is not critical. So you can just click on install. So let this installation start. Okay, so we taken backup of all these files. Okay, also we can just log into the database and take the control file backup. That is also very important. Control file backup can be taken using rmun as well, also using a script file. Okay, so rmun, when we take the rmun backup, there will be a format for rmun like .bkp, something like that. Okay, so if you want the physical or the exact script of the control file, you can just say alter database backup control file to trace as, just give this directory and provide the name of the control file. Okay, so we have taken the script file. This is the script file which will contain the create control file script with all the data files, redo log files, and the temp file related information. Okay, so if in case we need to, in case if there are any failures during the upgrade, we can this control file script may be useful during the restore. Okay, so next we can just take the backup using rmun as well. So what we can do is we can delete any existing backup. So in real time you don't need to delete it. Okay, since for saving the space I am just deleting the backup. So currently there are no backups available. So what I can do is backup as compressed. I don't need compress. Backup as backup set. Okay, so let me just take the backup database plus archive log delete input. Okay, so manual archiving, no archive logging mode, must identify log. First let us just check if the database is in archive log mode or not, because that is very important for point in time recovery. Okay, so database is in no archive mode. So what we can do, we can just shut down. We can just enable the archive logging. Okay, but in real time, if the database is production, obviously database will be in archive log mode. Okay, so we don't need to change this, but since I am in a test system, also this database is installed recently, so it is a new database. I have not enabled the archive log, so I will go to mount state and enable the archive log. Also we need to make sure that we have sufficient space in the FRA. Okay, otherwise all the flashback log files and archive log files will not be able to accommodate on the existing space. Okay, lot of archive logs and flashback logs will be generated. So let me just enable archive log and flashback. Okay, so then let me just open the database. So now we just need to create a restore point. Okay, we just check if there are any existing restore points or not. So there are no existing restore points. So we need to create not only a restore point but guaranteed restore point. Okay, so before upgrade, guaranteed so probably there should be some syntax error. Create restore point name. Okay, so this is my restore point which should be created now. Okay, so it has the date and the storage size and whether it is guaranteed or not, and what is the incarnation in the control file, and the current SCN. I mean when I took the restore point. Okay, so if in case I end up with any failures or corruptions during the upgrade, there is no much manual action required by the DBA. Okay, simply I can just restore directly to this particular state. So what is the current state? What is the current date? So this is the current date, and what is the current time? So I can just, if in case in future, if in case I end up with some failures, I can go back to this particular time when I took this restore point. That's it. Okay, so now we have restore point. Okay, we should also take backups of all the files. Okay, so restore point is just a you can say it is it relies on the flashback files. Okay, but for all the data files and all the control file backups, we need to separately take. Okay, in case we need to use Armon to recover, restore and recover. Okay, for that reason, so let me just again execute this backup command. So now you can see it says archive log not deleted, even though I specify archive log delete input. Archive log are not deleted because it is needed for guaranteed restore point. Okay, so that's how Oracle prevents deleting the archive log. Okay, so when we enable guaranteed restore point, if we delete all the archive logs, then there is no point in using a guaranteed restore point. So for that reason, it automatically skips the delete step. Okay, but in real time, obviously we may have tape backups as well. Okay, we don't keep all the archive logs in the file system. Okay, so we have taken the backup of the database. Next we need to take the backup of the control file. That is very important, from the Armon. Okay, so we already took the control file backup script. Now we take the control file backup from Armon. Okay, so next what we are going to do is we are just going to restore database preview. Okay, so this preview option will just simulate the restore, actual restore, whether these backup pieces are actually valid or not. Right, so when we just take a backup simply, and when we upgrade the database and we end up with some issues, say for example, and we are using this backup to restore. Okay, when we restore with this backup, suddenly it says that the backup file is corrupted. Okay, so in those cases we cannot do anything, because backup is the only thing that we can rely on when we end up with some failure. When this backup itself will be corrupted, then there is no use of restoring. So for that reason, immediately we take a backup before the failure. What we have to do is we just need to verify those backup pieces, whether they are corrupted or whether they are invalid or something like that. So if we just give this preview option, what Oracle does is Oracle will simulate as if like if in case we need to restore from this backup piece, how it behaves. But it will not actually restore the database. Okay, so here it gives some advice as well, saying that recovery cannot be done to a consistent state. Why recovery cannot be done to a consistent state? Because we didn't take consistent backup. Okay, consistent backup will be taken when we shut down the database. Okay, we need to shut down the database, start the database in mount mode, and then take a backup. But currently our database is in open mode. So let me just show you. So if the database is in open mode, the current SCN will not be consistent. In the sense, it will not be stable. It will increase continuously. So if I just say current SCN open mode from VDollar database. Okay, so now open mode is read write, and if you see, the SCN keep on increasing every second or every millisecond. So this is the reason when I take the backup, this backup will be valid only up to certain SCN. If I just take a backup at this point, only it will be valid until this point, right? So since my database is in read write mode, automatically the SCN will keep on increasing. Okay, this is called inconsistent backup. It is not consistent backup. Or also we can say this is hot backup, which means my database will be already up and running, and parallelly I'm taking a backup. What is cold backup? So cold backup is one where I will just shut down the database and then start the database in mount mode. So if my database is in mount mode, this SCN will not increase. Okay, so this I will explain you in a backup, separately in a backup class, so that you will understand much better. So anyway, this is expected. Okay, so now we have just restored the database with preview mode. We have to restore the control file with the preview mode now. Okay, so just specify the control file backup which was taken. Preview summary. So it says finish restore using this backup piece, which means my control file backup is also valid. Okay, so now I have double checked it. I'm good to go and start the upgrade. Okay, so let this installation complete. So we just need to execute this root.sh script. So I can just click on OK and click on close. So now my Oracle database 19C software is installed. Okay, so now what I have to do, just go back to 19C. Also I need to take a tarball or tar backup of the 12C. Okay, I already have a tar backup, but if you want me to take backup once again, I'll just take tar backup. Okay, so I'm just taking a tar backup of the current Oracle home, which is 12C home. Okay, so always backups are very important in all aspects, not only with the RMAN. Okay, we have to use RMAN. We also need to store the backups in files, okay, in the form of scripts, right? Also in the form of tar backups. Okay, so now we had taken we have taken tar backup. So yeah, so I can just go back to 19C. Okay, so from here what I will do, I'll just invoke the DBUA script. I will go to bin directory, just invoke DBUA. So make sure that Xming is enabled for graphical window. So this DBUA will take care of all the pre-checks and the upgrade, and it will also do the post checks. Okay, so if we are doing it manually, then that is different case. We need to do everything manually. Okay, so if any recommendations are needed, then it will automatically give us those recommendations. Okay, so anyway, we will just do the pre-checks, few of the pre-checks by ourselves. Okay, before this DBUA load. Okay, so DBUA is loaded. So you can see there is a filter option. So if there are multiple databases running on the same server, we need to filter out only the database that we are going to upgrade. Okay, so here only one database is running, that is 12c. Okay, and also before you invoke DBUA, there will be some confusion. So from which Oracle home we need to invoke this DBUA, right? So there are two Oracle homes, one is 12c and another one is 19c. So when we are upgrading from 12c to 19c, we need to go to the 19c home and invoke the 19c DBUA, not the 12c DBUA. Okay, so yeah, let us just execute dictionary statistics. Okay, anyway, DBUA will tell us to gather the dictionary statistics. Okay, so we'll manually do this. For performance reasons, otherwise we will end up with some performance issues. Okay, next one is DB recovery parameter. Okay, so just make sure that DB recovery file list is the FRA parameter. Make sure that you have sufficient space in this mount point, right? So I almost have 32 GB available, so I don't need to bother about the FRA, but always make sure that FRA value is high. Okay, even though I have sufficient space on the mount point, still FRA size is very less. Okay, so FRA, I mean, if my archive logs are growing beyond 4.5 GB, then I will end up with some issues, even though I have sufficient space on the mount point. Okay, so this FRA parameter is also a threshold. Okay, it does not mean that I can consume up to 32 GB. So out of this 32 GB, only 4.5 GB will be allocated for FRA, in the sense for storing archive logs, backups, and the flashback log files. Okay, so we need to increase this parameter to a higher value to make sure that we don't end up with any issues. Okay, so always just try to give twice or thrice the existing value. Okay, because once we go into the upgrade phase, it will be very difficult if in case we end up with FRA space full issue, right? So these are generic parameters that needs to be checked. Okay, space is the mandatory thing that we need to check before. So during the upgrade, if we end up with some space issues, then it may be a serious issue where we need to again add some space, and again we need to try to continue from the existing the failed phase, right? So yeah, this DBUA is verifying some minimum requirements before the upgrade. Okay, it is automatically checking the pre-upgrade that needs to be performed. Okay, so next we can just check if there are any objects in recycle bin. Okay, there are no objects. There are 0 objects in DBA recycle bin, so we don't need to purge it anyway. This is also one of the step. So if it is a production or if it is a real-time system, definitely there will be a lot of objects under DBA recycle bin. Okay, why? Because definitely there will be a lot of drop commands and removal commands will be there. So all those objects will get stored in the recycle bin. So we have purge recycle bin as well. Okay, so we should also check if there are any materialized views. So this is just an optional step, but yeah. So if there are any analytical systems, data warehousing systems, we need to make sure that all the materialized views are refreshed. Otherwise the materialized view may get stale. Okay. So we can just check if there are any materialized views under this view. So currently there are no materialized views, but if in case there are any materialized views, what you can do is you just need to execute this procedure, tbms mview dot refresh schema name dot table name. That's it. Okay, currently there is no materialized view in this particular name. I'm just giving you an example. So here schema name dot materialized view name, not the table name. Okay, so this is the command for refresh. So if there are multiple materialized views, all the materialized views needs to be refreshed. So this also depends on individual projects and their strategies. So every project may not be having a complete refresh. There may be fast refresh, and their refreshing strategy may be different. So you just need to make sure that you are consulting with the right person on how the materialized views are refreshed. Okay, so this is not common. This will not be common for every project. Materialized view refresh may be sometimes automated as well. So we need to make sure that we are using the right mview refresh step. Okay, and then yeah, it says checks to be fixed. So starting with Oracle database release 18, Apex is not upgraded. Okay, so generally I already told you that there are a lot of components, right? You can just check all the components under DBA registry. Okay, so if you see these many components are there in 12c. Okay, so all these components needs to be upgraded during the upgrade. Okay, so all the upgrade time, I mean 90% of the upgrade time will be spent on upgrading these components. Okay, and there are mandatory components and also there are non-mandatory components. Okay, so Apex is just a non-mandatory component. Okay, if application is using the application express, this is the one, Apex, then only you can upgrade this component. Okay, it also depends on the projects. Okay, not every customer or client will be using all these components. Okay, because there will be some licensing part for each and every components that are used. Okay, so if we use every component, then for licensing will be for every components. So for that reason, some projects may not use all the components. They check which are all the application which needs these components. Okay, if say for example, if any application requests Oracle database Java packages, so currently every application would be using Java, most of them, right? So for every application Java is required, so obviously this component will be required. Okay, and not every application will be using OLAP analytical workspace, and not every application will be using Oracle real application cluster. So real application cluster is a rack, right? Rack is something which is multi-node high availability product which is offered by Oracle. So since we are in single instance, we don't upgrade this. That's the reason option is off for rack. Okay, so yeah, it depends on the individual projects and their applications. Okay, so currently we can just skip this. Okay, we are not going to upgrade the Apex. Okay, and yeah, these are the pre-upgrade recommendations: gathering statistics on fixed objects if none have been gathered. Okay, so like how we gathered statistics on statistics for dictionary for this database, we can also gather stats for fixed object as well. So it is a syntax error. So let me just again so yeah, let fixed object statistics gather. Okay, so yeah, once we gather the fixed object statistics, we can just go to next. So these are just warnings and recommendations. Okay, there are no errors or issues, so we can just go ahead. So next it will ask for enable parallel upgrade, recompile invalid objects during post upgrade, upgrade time zone data. So these are options, okay, which we can either tell DBA to do it automatically or do it by ourselves. Okay, parallel upgrade will improve the speed of the upgrade, so the time taken will be reduced. So we can, if we have sufficient CPU power, we can enable parallel upgrade. Okay, and also invalid objects, we don't need to manually do that. We can let DBA to do these. Upgrade time zone data also can be done by DBA. So next it asks for the backup. Okay, so currently we had we have this guaranteed restore point, so we can just select that guaranteed restore point. Okay, also if we want the backup to be used, we can choose Orman backup. Okay, so guaranteed restore point will be easier compared to restoring from Orman, so we will be using guaranteed restore point. Okay, so next it asks for listener. We don't need any, we can create it after the upgrade. Next, interface manager express is not required. Okay, so if you have OEM as well in your environment, what you need to do is you need to enable blackout, like how we did in the patching section, right? So during the patching we disabled or blackout the alerts before the patching, right? So likewise you need to make sure that you black out the alerts, otherwise a lot of unwanted down alerts will be triggered. Okay, so next it will give us the summary of the upgrade. Okay, so the recommendations, pre-upgrade checks, initialization parameters before the upgrade. Okay, and what are all the options that we selected. Now we can just, once we review this summary, we can just click on finish. Okay, so once we click on finish, upgrade, actual upgrade, which is the second phase. Now pre-check is already completed. Actual upgrade is will be started. Yeah, so now you can see the screen, right? So first it complete the database backup during the pre-upgrade steps, and it is doing some pre-upgrade step. So if you just click on this, yeah, this will collapse and expand. Okay, we cannot click on this, but you can check the alert log and progress log for any issues. Okay, so during the upgrade, always we need to open these two panels to make sure that we don't end up with any issues. Okay, so if there are any ORA errors or any issues during the upgrade or failures, then all these issues will be recorded in the progress log content. And if there is any issues related to the configuration or space issues, FRA issues, then that will be recorded in the alert log. Okay, so always we should make sure that we monitor the space on the mount point and the database. Okay, why? Because all the table space size will be growing. System, sysocs, and users. I mean undo. Okay, so system, sysocs, undo. Why? Because in 12C there will be less features, but in 19C a lot of additional features will be included, which may require additional space. Okay, for that reason, lot of additional internal tables will be added, internal packages and all these stuffs will be added. So system table space will be growing compared to 12C table space size of system, sysocs, and undo. In 19C it will be more. So we need to make sure that we have sufficient space to accommodate all these table space growth in the mount point, right? So it's not that once we execute or once we come to this phase we are good. In the sense, we after this progress, in the sense during this phase we need to monitor the database very keen or very carefully. Okay, so that we can be proactive and make sure that we can solve the issue very quickly. Okay, so now what it does is it is just configuring the database in 19C home. Okay, so previously we were in 12C, we were using 12C database in 12C Oracle home, but that 12C database needs to be upgraded, and that database should be linked. All the binaries need to be linked to the 19C Oracle home, right? And all the libraries needs to be used from the 19C home. So that's what it is doing at this particular step, configuring the database in 19C Oracle home. Okay, so we have a file called Oracle. So we can also search with a name. Yeah, it's this file. So this is the file which is an executable, okay, so which does most of the tasks during the startup of the database. So when we start up the database, it creates the shared memory segments, create the IPC structures, and spawn the background processes and all these stuffs. Okay, so this is just for your information. So when the database is upgraded, this file will be used to again start the 19C database. Okay, so now database actual upgrade is started. Okay, so this is where all the components will be upgraded. So it will take a lot of time for upgrading all these components. Okay, so once this upgrade is done, then it will go for post checks. Okay, so for 48% completed. So almost 90% of the components are upgraded. Okay, only one component is pending, Oracle Multimedia. So when you start your upgrade in your system, this may be something different. Okay, so you can just see the time, how much time taken for each and every components to upgrade, right? So once this component is completed, it will go for the sanity checks, database restart, and post upgrade actions. Okay, so far there are no errors in upgrading. Okay, so now Oracle database upgrade is successful. Okay, if you just see the upgrade results, DBA has taken care of all the steps. Okay, pre-upgrade checks, actual upgrade, and then post checks. Okay, it has after the upgrade, what it done, database can be restored by running the following script. So it has taken the backup for restore if in case we need to restore for any purpose. Okay, and time zone is also upgraded. Okay, so previous version was version 18 and it was upgraded to version 32, and all the parameters for 19C are updated on the SP file. Okay, and if you see all the steps, right, database backup, pre-upgrade, configuring database home in database in Oracle home 19C, components upgrade, then compiling all the invalid objects, time zone upgrade, post upgrade, general summary. So that's it. So if we just see the database, so we need to set the environment variable first, right? So 12C database is no longer there. So I need to set the environment variable so that it is, the Oracle home is set to 19C. Okay, now if you see, the SQL Plus version is changed to 19C. Previously when I invoked SQL Plus from 12C environment variable, it says connected to an ideal instance, but now I have connected to the 19C instance. if we just check the banner from reader version, we will be able to see the 19C banner. Okay, and we need to check the components, right? Components from DBA registry. And also we need to check the version as well, right? So select component, version, followed by status. If you see, all these components are upgraded from 12C to 19C. Okay, and Oracle Application Express is not upgraded. Okay, so it is still 4.2.5. Okay, but it is valid. So if application is using this component, then well and good, we have to upgrade this component as well. But if application is not using this component, then we can just keep it as such. Okay, so yeah, now we have upgraded the database from 12C to 19C. Okay, so there are a lot of performance enhancements in 19C compared to 12C. Okay, so this is just an upgrade session where I given you the demonstration on how to upgrade the database. So there are also a lot of considerations related to performance. Okay, so which I will show you in a separate course on how to what are all the things that we need to check in terms of performance. Why? Because suddenly when we upgrade from 12C to 19C, all the SQL queries which are running on the database, right, from the application may get affected. Okay, it's not only negatively but also positively. Okay, some of the SQL statements may get 200% improvement, and some of the SQL statements may reduce from 100% to 50%. I mean the performance. Okay, so there are also positive effects and also negative effects because of the change of the optimizer code. Also, I just wanted to add one more point. If you just focus on the time taken for the upgrade to complete, almost it took 1 hour 42 minutes in my case. Okay, so it also depends on the system speed. So currently we are in a VM machine, so the time taken for this upgrade may be different. So if the server is hosted on a physical machine and if the server has more resource, then that is a different case. Okay, so if you just notice, majority, almost 90% of the time taken for the upgrade is spent on the components upgrade, as I already told you, right? And others, or rest of them are just taking few minutes. So invalid objects compilation is taking almost 16 minutes, and apart from that, only one step where it took majority of the time is components upgrade. Okay, why? Because components are the heart of the upgrade. Okay, so when during the upgrade, the main purpose is to upgrade the components, so that's why components upgrade is taking a lot of time. And also we can just check the logs. Okay, so this is the log location on the server. So we had checked the GUI window logs, that is well and good, but if you want to troubleshoot any issues using the server log file, we can just go inside this directory, config tool logs dbua, and this is the log file directory. Why? Because sometimes this GUI window may get interrupted if there is any failure or disconnections of this display, right? This may get disconnected from the server. So for that reason, we always need to make sure that we are able to access the log file directory. Okay, so